Coming up on the Lady Walker Show, guest host Jay Hulitt interviews Alonzo Edwards on various requirements in purchasing a home in the 21st century. All this and more coming up next.
Lady Walker Show.
Welcome to the Lady Walker Show. I'm Jay Hulitt, sitting in for Lady Walker. Here today with my guest, Alonzo Edwards. Alonzo, how you doing today, man?
Doing great, sir. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, of course, my name is, like you said, my name is Alonzo Edwards with Top Flight Financial. We are a Mississippi licensed mortgage company and also equal opportunity lender. Okay. I'm the branch manager. We are a mortgage lender.
Okay. Mortgage?
Yes, sir.
Mortgage. So, why not doctor? Why not firefighter? What caused you to go into the mortgage industry?
Yes, sir. People ask me that every day.
Really?
Why do you want to be in this business? It's so crazy. But you know what? I feel I've been doing mortgages now for 10 years. And it's a calling to me. It's a ministry.
Okay.
It's a ministry to actually help people to purchase their own home. Of course, I do refinances and things like that. But my passion, my heart is to work with first-time home buyers.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
First-time home buyer. So how long have you been doing mortgage?
Been doing 10 years.
10 years?
When I first started, it didn't start doing mortgages. I actually started helping clients with their credit, with restoring their credit, with repairing their credit. And in doing that, I saw the need in helping clients with their in purchasing a home. And just in prayer, and this is what the Lord put in my heart. So that's where it came from.
So you walking in your calling.
That's the first time I said that.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yes, sir.
You said purchasing. So is there a difference? Well, I guess you're the right person to ask.
Yes,
What's
sir.
the difference between purchasing, like buying or renting? What's the difference between that?
Well, renting a home or renting an apartment, you got to look at it like this. It's something that you'll never own.
Okay.
You're paying off somebody else's home or you're paying off their apartment or whatever it may be. It's never going to be yours. When you're purchasing a home, it's something that's going to be yours one day. You can come home and say, hey, this is mine. You have to go to the landlord and say, hey, can I knock a hole in this wall? This is your wall. You can do whatever you need to do to your home. If you want to build a room upstairs, like I want a man cave. Everybody knows about the man cave.
Everybody wants one of
But
those.
you can paint in your home. You don't have to go to a landlord. It's something that you can call your own. One of the main reasons I promote purchasing rather than renting is, of course, rent is really high right now. Purchasing a home is the payment is so much less than actually renting.
Yeah, I had a friend that she actually moved, and now her payment that she's paying is cheaper.
Yes, sir.
And with a mortgage, opposed to when she was living in an apartment. Well, let me ask you this: are there any pros to renting?
Well, I'll put it this way: not everyone is a home buyer. There are some that actually do need to rent. They're not ready. They're not prepared for
Just
buying
not,
right now.
Just not responsible.
Not right now, but I look at renting as a road to another road to get you where you're trying to go. It's just a pathway.
Okay.
You may be renting for about a year or 2 years. So because when you're purchasing, there are different guidelines, different programs that that you have to show where you've been renting for a certain length of time. So rent is good, for a time, for a season, but it's not. Ultimately, I would say you need to purchase your own home.
Eventually, if everybody should be able to.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
okay. Now buying. Okay, so I'm ready to buy a home. What's something I need to keep in mind if I'm ready to buy?
Yes, sir. Well, I'll tell you this. I do a lot of home buying seminars. And the first thing I tell people at my seminar, the first thing I start off with, I say, you need to make a decision.
Yeah.
Everything in life starts with a decision.
Uh-huh.
A decision to do anything in life, everything starts with a decision.
Yeah.
Well, make a decision. Okay, if I want to buy a home, then make that decision. Okay, I'm going to buy a home. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. If you're going to rent, say, okay, make that decision that you're going to rent.
Yeah.
So everything starts with a decision.
Okay,
Yes,
I
sir.
made the decision. I'm ready to buy.
Yes, sir.
So what's the next step now?
The next step is your credit. That's going to be the main key to purchasing a home is your credit.
Okay.
Is your credit good? Is your credit bad? Do you have any credit? Do you know what your credit is? Do you know what credit is at all? How do you know what your credit scores are?
Okay.
What does a lender actually look for in purchasing a home on your credit? What does your credit scores have to be?
Okay.
Things like that.
Now, okay, I know I gotta have good credit, or I need to keep my credit in mind.
Yes, sir.
So I'm ready to actually go look at some houses. Would you encourage, for young couples, would you encourage them to just go to different neighborhoods and they see a house and just walk up to it? Or
well, I'm gonna back you up a little bit. So many people say that. They call me and they say, "Well, I'm gonna go look for a home." Well, hold up, slow down a little bit now.
Yeah.
You need to get pre-approved first.
Okay.
You need to find out what do you really need. It's like you going to the store, to the grocery store, any grocery store, because I do a lot of shopping. I love to shop at the grocery store. I love that. But when I go to the grocery store, I know exactly how much I'm going to spend.
Okay.
And I know how much I got in my pocket. Same thing with buying a home. You want to know, okay, well, how much can I spend? How much do I have that I can't spend on this home? I mean, the home that you're looking at may be $200,000, and you only qualify for $100,000.
Oh.
So you got to look at things like that. So
Yeah.
the first
is
key is
important.
knowing your credit. Then what are the guidelines to purchase after I know what my credit scores are?
Okay. Okay. And I would need a realtor to kind of go out whenever I do.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Speaking of realtors, I'm glad you said that. I work with a lot of realtors.
Oh, okay.
Just like there are good people in the world, there are bad people in the world, there are good realtors and there are bad realtors.
Okay.
There's good finance people and there's bad finance people.
I believe it.
So you have people that actually, you want to find a realtor that actually have your best interest in mind.
Yeah.
It's not about money to them. Of course, you know, a realtor makes her income or his income off of commission. So you want to find someone that's going to have your best interest.
Yeah. You're
I recommend a full-time realtor. That's my personal.
full-time now. Full-time meaning that's all they do.
That's all that they do.
Okay.
For instance, you think about it, while you're, now I'm not a realtor, but if you think about it, while you're at work, you need somebody that's going to be finding some homes for you to look at that evening,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
be able to work with you that evening.
Yeah.
So that's just my preference. Like I said, I'm not a realtor.
Okay.
But that's just my
But
personal.
you can help me find
My wife is a
good
realtor,
one.
and she's a full-time realtor. That's I can kind of
Okay.
speak on that part.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that realtors would really make a big difference.
Yes, because one thing in buying a home, a realtor is always going to tell you, most realtors will tell you, that you should have a home inspection. A home inspection is really, really important in purchasing a home. Because you want to know, is this home, when I get into it, is it going to fall apart? Is it going to fall down? You want to have a home inspection. Well, you have some realtors that don't recommend a home inspection. You have some realtors that do recommend a home inspection. You have home warranties at the end when you purchase your home.
Okay.
Well, you have some realtors that say, well, you don't need a home warranty. You have some realtors that say you do need a home warranty.
Okay.
A home warranty is pretty much after you purchase your home, then it's like an insurance policy that if something happens to your home, then they'll cover it, or things like that. I'm not a home warranty specialist.
Okay.
You call our office and we can actually give you different home warranty companies.
Okay.
But yeah, so.
Okay. Well, man, that's a lot of stuff.
I know. Well, I'm gonna take you back a little bit.
Okay. Well, we're gonna take this break first. We'll be right back after these messages.
Great.
All right. Welcome back to the Lady Walker Show. I'm your guest host, Jay Hulitt, and we're back with Alonzo. Alonzo, I think before the break you was telling us some of the challenges of buying a home.
Yeah. Before you cut me off.
Yeah.
I am so excited. I'll tell people, I know I talk fast, so I'm going to try to slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
I do a lot of seminars, so I try to slow it down. I always say, slow down a little bit.
Okay.
Just so we can understand what you're saying. I'm going to do that right now. So.
All right.
All right. The first step to purchasing a home, like I said, was making a decision. The second thing is knowing your credit. You want to know your credit. What's on your credit? Is your credit good? Is it bad? Do you have any credit? You need to, there are 3 different credit bureaus. You have your Equifax, you have your TransUnion, you have your experience.
Okay.
All three rate your credit scores differently. They all look at your credit differently. You always want to look and see, well, do you have any judgments on your credit? Do you have any collections, like medical collections?
Okay.
Any type of bankruptcies? Any kind of charge-off credit cards or repossessions and things like that. Those are the type of things that actually hurt your credit and can prevent you from purchasing a home.
Wow.
Right now, but not ultimately, but just right now.
So what, if I want to just have the best credit score, what are some of the things that I could do to keep my credit high?
Well, you want to make sure that you make your payments on time.
Okay.
You want to, if you have a car, make your car payments on time.
Okay.
Try not to be late. Your credit cards, pay your credit cards on time.
Okay. Now, is it okay to pay a little bit more than what is due?
Well, it's okay. Everybody's credit is different. First thing to know what's on your credit, you want to go to a free website. You can get one free copy of your credit bureau every year. It's annualcreditreport.com. That's annualcreditreport.com.
Okay.
All right. On that website, you can just look and see what's on your credit. But it is good. You know, I'm not an advocate to having a lot of credit cards. I only have one credit card, and I've had it for about 10 years.
All right.
But it's good to pay your credit cards down. If you have credit cards, don't really pay them off. Pay them down at least about 30. You only owe 33% of your limit.
Okay.
So if you have a balance of $500, if you have a limit of $500, keep it around 150, 125 around the area. If you do that, continue to pay it on time. Your score is going to continue to go up.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So don't just pay it all the way off.
Yes.
I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that will help me personally. Now, if I'm ready to buy a home, my credit score is not exactly where it needs to be.
Yes, sir.
How long would it take for it to get there?
Well, what we do in our office, first, our website, you can pull a copy of your credit report. It's topflightfinancial.com /above average.
Okay.
It's TOPFLITE financial.com /above average. Okay. When you go in there, pull a copy of your credit report, then you can just, like I said, see what's on your credit. But answer that question once again, because I lost myself there. So ask me again.
Well, if I'm ready to purchase a home, but my credit score is not exactly where it needs to be, how long would it take
to build your scores up?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, everybody's different.
Okay.
When I was talking about go on our website, because if you pull your credit through our website or go to that free bureau, you can bring your credit to us.
Okay.
To one of my loan officers. We'll look at your credit, go through it, and kind of guide you on what you need to do to your credit, and tell you maybe how long it may take you to build your scores up. Like I said, everybody's different. I've seen some clients where it takes a week.
Oh, really?
Where they pay things down on their credit, some credit cards, to boost their scores up. I've seen some it took a month, 60 days, or some even a year.
Okay, so it can take up to about a year for some people.
For some, it can take longer than a year. For instance, if you have some of our clients may have a bankruptcy on their credit, bankruptcy Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. On a Chapter 7, you want to wait at least 2 to 3 years outside of the discharge date before you're able to actually purchase a home.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Chapter 7.
On the Chapter 13, we go off of the file date. So you want to be 3 years or 2 years outside of the file date of the Chapter 13 bankruptcy.
All right. And you said you had loan officers in place?
Yes, sir.
They can help people?
Yes, sir.
And just kind of guide them through everything they need to do?
Yes, sir.
Man, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, I heard you earlier talking about judgment. Yeah. So what's a judgment on your, credit?
And people are scared of judgment. Judgment's like this. If you have a collection from a collection agency, you never pay that collection company, maybe a medical collection, and you never pay them for years or maybe a few months, they will put a judgment, they'll file it with the court, maybe Hines County or whatever county that you live in. Okay. They'll file with that court. And what happened, they can garnish your wages.
Oh.
Things like that. So
it can
really affect your credit.
Yeah.
Big time.
Okay. So is it a way that I can get those judgments off? Or is it just kind of like a time period thing?
Well, it's a time period. Judgments normally stay on your credit for about approximately seven years. They stay on your credit. Now you can possibly get those judgments off if the judgments were placed against you and it wasn't yours. For instance, you have a lot of juniors. Like you maybe have William, Tom, the senior. You have a junior. Well, that's seniors. He didn't pay his bills. It wasn't mine. So a lot of those things cannot be your credit. And of course, you can dispute those, and they'll take them off your credit.
They will take them off.
They'll take them off if they're not yours.
Okay. Well, that's great news, man.
Yes, sir.
Now you were saying Chapter 7 and Chapter 13.
Yeah.
What's the difference between those?
Well, I'm tell you right there, I'm not an attorney.
Okay.
I'm not an attorney, but I can tell you, Chapter 7 is pretty much where you, from my experience and seeing my clients' credit, they not wipe things off your credit, but mainly saying that pretty much you don't owe it. You don't have to pay it.
Oh, okay.
Which is never good. You want to make sure that you make those payments on those collections. You know, like I said, I'm not an attorney, so I can't really answer that question.
Okay, okay. But that's not something that you would want on your credit.
You do not want a bankruptcy on your credit.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Or a foreclosure on your credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the main ways to get those things off is just to practice paying things on time. If it's any programs that are available, and when I'm ready to purchase a home.
Yes, sir. There's a lot of programs. Of course, we because we are a lender, we provide FHA mortgages.
Okay.
We do VA. We do rural. We do conventional loans.
Okay.
FHA is one of the most popular programs that we do. Of course, FHA is not a 100% program.
Okay.
It's a 96.5% program. For instance, say if you want to purchase a home for $100,000. Well, us as a lender, we're going to lend you $96,500.
Okay.
So then you may say, well, where am I going to get that $3,500 from? That's a lot of money. $3,500 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
The great thing about it, here in our area, in Mississippi, there's a program, there's an agency called the Mississippi Home Corporation. We use a lot of their grant money, down payment assistance. There's money available to assist you with the down payment.
Okay.
So that's really good.
That's excellent.
Yes, sir.
Because, I know there's people out there that just, they may not know where they can come up with some of those funds.
Of course.
That's a lot of different programs. You said VA.
VA is awesome. I love VA. I get so excited about VA.
Yeah.
VA is a straight 100% program. No money down program. It's just awesome. Pretty much as a VA, if you was in the military, and I want to start by saying we appreciate all the veterans, that their service, protecting our country. We really appreciate you guys. Pretty much like I said, VA is 100%. You want to make sure you have your DD-214. If you have your DD-214, we can pull your certificate of eligibility. Okay. And we can provide a VA loan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to hold up right
sir.
there. We're learning about all these programs. We'll be back with more of the Lady Walker Show after this. Welcome back to the Lady Walker Show. I'm your guest host, Jay Hulitt. We're back here with Alonzo. Yes, Alonzo, you was just telling us about some of the different programs that are available.
Yes, sir.
To people that's...
Well, like I was saying, the different programs, you have FHA, you have VA, and rural.
Okay.
I want to get into a little bit what we are looking for as a lender.
Okay.
Your audience, I hope they writing this down here. This is really good. With FHA, you want to have at least 2 to 3 open and active trade lines.
Okay.
That have been okay. Let's go back. What is a trade line?
Yeah.
A trade line is this right here. It's an auto loan. Okay. A credit card, a student loan, not a deferred student loan, a student loan that you're actually paying on.
Okay.
Things like that, an installment loan, things like that. So we're looking at a lender is always, the underwriter is always going to be looking for whoever your lender may be. You may not be using us as your lender, whoever your lender. They're going to be looking at what have you been doing for the last 2 years.
Okay.
They look 2 years. What have you been doing? Have you been working? Have you been on your job? How long have you been on your job? Have you been in school? What exactly have you been doing? Okay. Well, you may say, well, I have been unemployed for 12 months or 2 years. I haven't been working. Well, you want to make sure that you go ahead and get a job, get employment, and then,
yeah, because you can't pay a mortgage without a job.
Yeah. So then about 2 more years, and you can purchase. Okay. That's on any program that we have or anybody has a VA, rural, or the FHA. Okay. I will tell you this. You have a lot of clients. I know I have a lot of my clients that have been in school for the last 2 or 3 years. We work with a lot of people that just graduated. Well, that's great. So the underwriter can see, or we as lender can see, what you've been doing for the past 2 years. You've been in school. Hey, you got a job. Now you're a teacher. You've been going to school to be a teacher. That is awesome. That's your job time.
Okay, so if I was working and I took some time off to go to school, but now I'm back working. All of that still a plus.
That's a plus because we can see what you've been doing for the last 2 years. Okay. That's great because a lot of students they work part-time jobs, which is great. Again, we go off of the school time. Okay. And when if say you're going to school to be a doctor or attorney or administrator, whatever it may be, that job time, as long as you can get a copy of your transcript. And let's go. I'm glad I said transcript there. This is what you want to have when you go to your lender, your bank, whoever you're working with, your loan officer. You want to have these things. You want to have your last 2 check stubs, your last 2 years W-2s, your driver's license, Social Security card, your last 2 months bank statements. All right, and if you've been in school, you want to bring a copy of your transcript.
Okay.
If you're a veteran, you want to have a copy of your DD-214.
Okay.
When you go to a lender, you want to be prepared. You want to be have some type of knowledge of what they're going to ask for. If you go to anybody, you say, okay, here's everything that you're going to need. That lender is going to take you serious that you really want to purchase a home, and that shows the lender, us as a lender, that you have truly made a decision that you want to purchase a home.
Yeah.
Now with VA is the same way. It's 100% financing. You want to have at least 2 to 3 open and active trade lines.
Okay.
And we already went over the bankruptcies, but like I say, you want to have at least 2 or 3.
Okay.
If you don't have those things on your credit, you don't have any trade lines at all, I would suggest to my clients, don't get a credit card. A lot of people say get a credit card. I don't promote credit cards. I promote getting CDs. Go to your local credit union or your bank and get a CD. What is a CD? A secured CD. Okay. It's where you'll give the bank maybe $500 to $1,000 of your own money, and then you're going to borrow that money right back. Okay. And what's going to happen, it's going to be an open trade line on your credit. When you start paying, you're actually paying yourself. Yeah. And then that's going to start building your credit scores.
That is way better than the CD. I mean, way better than the credit card. And I wish I could have met you just 5 years ago, because that definitely would have helped me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I've always heard, if you want to build your credit, go get a credit card.
Yes, sir.
And I know that definitely will help.
Yeah.
So those are guidelines for FHA and the guidelines for VA. I think it was one more. Yeah,
Rule is really big right now.
Okay.
Rule is 102% financing.
102?
102%. You know, so what do I need 2% for? Well, I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing myself here.
Okay.
The 2%, well, closing costs. There's closing costs. You can call our office. We'll go over closing costs. We don't have that much time. But the 2% can be used to pay the portion of your closing costs, the fees that it costs to do your loan.
Okay. Yeah.
Such as your attorney fees, your lender fees, things like that.
Okay.
But Rule is like this. Rule is just not country. Rule is places like, let me give you an example. Byram. A lot of portions of Byram is considered to be rural.
Oh,
you
really?
May say, well, Byram is a city. Well, Byram, the rural department goes off the different populations in that area.
Okay.
Byram, you have a small part of Clinton. You have Ken, parts of Madison.
Madison?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Parts of Madison.
Okay.
It's growing.
Okay.
You have places like Brandon, a lot of Rankin County is considered to be rural.
Okay.
Again, rural is a straight 100% loan. Okay. No money down, no money out of your pocket.
Okay. And you said sometimes 102% too.
102%, yes, sir.
Okay.
That is just awesome.
Okay.
So if you can qualify for a rural loan, of course you want to have at least we didn't go back there, you want to have at least a 620 credit score.
Okay.
I didn't say that. With FHA, VA rule, you want to have at least a 620 or higher.
For all of them?
For all the programs. At least 620 or higher. And it works out great. 2 to 3 open and active trade lines.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wow, I'm glad you told me about that, but the CD.
Yes, sir.
And borrowing my own money and just paying myself back, that'll definitely help.
Yeah.
So if somebody was interested in getting in contact with you, what's your website again?
Our website is www.topflightfinancial.com/above average. I was going to spell that for you, but it's Top Flight, F-L-I-T-E. It's not F-L-I-G-H-T.
Okay.
F-L-I-T-E, financial.com/above average.
All right.
Our phone number is 601-957-5602. Again, we are a Mississippi licensed mortgage company and an equal opportunity lender.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's a lot of information.
A lot of information?
Yeah, I would definitely have to call you if I was interested in, purchasing a new home, because I know it's just a lot of just the programs, having my credit straight, everything, seminars and all of that.
It's one thing I do want to say.
What?
I want to say this to your audience. If you have been denied in the past, I don't care if you've been denied for your credit, your income, or whatever it may be. I want to tell your audience that this is your year to purchase your home. This is a great opportunity. Your interest rates are really, really, really low, and they're going to start going up. This is still a buyer's market. It's going to turn around.
Okay.
But this is your year to buy a home. Yes, you can still buy a home. You can buy a home. I don't care whoever told you no.
You can.
You can buy a home. There are ways.
Praise the Lord.
To purchase a home, and there may be time. You may have to have a little time, but yes, you can purchase.
All right. Well, we're going to take another break. Folks, you heard it for yourself, how to get in contact with Mr. Alonzo. We'll be back with more of the Lady Walker Show. Welcome back to the Lady Walker Show. I'm your guest host, Jay Hulitt. And we're back with Alonzo. Alonzo, man, we learned a lot of valuable information today. I think we learned about the importance is making that decision.
Yes, sir.
On buying or renting.
Yes, sir.
Credit. We learned about some of the different programs that are available,
Yes,
and the guidelines. Man, and you say you do seminars as well.
Yes, sir. We do a lot of home buying seminars. The next seminar we'll be having is actually in Vicksburg.
Okay.
Vicksburg is March the 31st at the Vicksburg Library.
Okay.
From 1 to 4 o'clock. At that seminar, we'll have realtors there. We have the Mississippi Home Corporation to talk about grant money. There's a new program that's there. It's called the Home Loan Plus, where you can actually get a grant for $14,999. So they'll be talking about that program as well.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
Okay. So if people want to get in contact with you, why don't you tell everybody your information again?
Okay. Again, my name is Alonzo Edwards with Top Flight Financial. My phone number is 601-957-5602. We're located in Ridgeland. We're in the process of opening up a new office, new branch right now in Vicksburg.
Okay.
So for you all, your audience that's in Vicksburg, get ready. We're coming.
That's great news. You heard it for yourself, folks. Seminar coming up in Vicksburg. This is the Lady Walker Show. See you next time.